When Travis Kelce told Taylor Swift, "We don't have any private moments left anymore," Taylor became defensive, but this privacy versus publicity fight would push them to dangerous territory before their resolution proved their bond was stronger than any external pressure. September 10, 2025, 7:45 p.m. Taylor Swift was sitting across from Travis Kelce at their favorite corner table in a quiet Nashville restaurant, watching him tell an animated story about something funny that had happened at practice that day. His eyes were bright with laughter, his whole face lit up with joy, and Taylor felt her heart flutter the same way it had when they first started dating over a year ago, without really thinking about it. Taylor reached for her phone and quietly took a candid photo of Travis mid-laugh, capturing the pure happiness in his expression. The photo was perfect, intimate, genuine, beautiful. Her fingers were already moving toward her camera roll to edit it when Travis's voice interrupted her thoughts. And then Jason completely face-planted into the Travis stopped talking, noticing Taylor was no longer looking at him, but at her phone screen. "Are you editing that photo you just took of me?" What? Taylor looked up, slightly startled. "Oh yeah, it's such a beautiful shot of you laughing. I was just thinking about which filter would tailor." Travis's voice was gentle but firm. "We were having a conversation, a real present conversation, and now you're thinking about filters." Taylor felt immediately defensive. "I was listening. I heard the story about Jason. I just thought the photo was really sweet and wanted to share how happy you make me." "But can't the moment just be sweet without sharing it?" Travis asked, and Taylor could hear something tired in his voice that she hadn't noticed before. "Can't my happiness just be for you to enjoy without turning it into content?" "It's not content, Travis. It's sharing my life with people who care about us." Travis was quiet for a moment, looking at Taylor with an expression she couldn't quite read. "When did you take that photo?" "Just now when you were telling the story about Jason. So, while I was sharing something personal with you, something that was making me laugh and making me feel connected to you, you were thinking about how to capture it for Instagram." Taylor felt a flutter of defensiveness. "I can multitask. I was listening and taking a photo." "Were you really listening though? Because right now you seem more focused on editing that photo than you do on finishing the conversation we were having." Taylor looked down at her phone where she had indeed been adjusting the brightness and considering caption options. "I was going to finish listening after I posted this." "After you posted this?" Travis repeated. "Do you hear yourself right now?" "What do you mean?" Travis leaned back in his chair, running his hands through his hair. "I mean that we don't have any private moments left anymore, Taylor. Every conversation, every laugh, every sweet moment between us becomes something you document and share. I can't even be genuinely happy with you without worrying about how it's going to be presented to millions of strangers." "That's not fair," Taylor said, setting her phone down but keeping her hand near it protectively. "You knew who I was when we started dating. You knew my life involved social media. I knew you posted about your life," Travis said. "But Taylor, we got engaged 2 weeks ago and since then it feels like every single moment of our relationship has become a performance." "A performance?" Taylor's voice was getting louder and she was grateful they were in a private corner of the restaurant. "Sharing my happiness is not a performance, isn't it? You just took a photo of me being vulnerable and happy, and your first instinct was to edit it for public consumption. You didn't even finish experiencing the moment with me before you started thinking about how to package it for everyone else." Taylor felt tears starting to form, partly from hurt and partly from anger. "So, what are you saying? That I'm fake? That my feelings aren't real?" "I'm saying that your feelings are real, but your first impulse is to broadcast them instead of just feeling them with me. And what's wrong with wanting to share when I'm happy?" Travis was quiet for a long moment, clearly trying to choose his words carefully. "Nothing is wrong with sharing when you're happy, but something is wrong when you can't be happy without sharing it." "That's not what I do," Taylor protested. But even as she said it, she felt an uncomfortable recognition of truth in his words. "Isn't it, Taylor? Name the last time we had a meaningful conversation or a romantic moment that you didn't document somehow." Taylor opened her mouth to respond, then closed it again, realizing she couldn't immediately think of an example. "I can't even tell you I love you anymore without wondering if it's going to become a quote on your Instagram story," Travis continued, his voice getting more emotional. "I can't be spontaneous or vulnerable with you because I'm always thinking about how it might be presented to people who don't know us." "So, you're censoring yourself because of my social media?" Taylor asked, feeling hurt that Travis had been holding back with her. "I'm censoring myself because our relationship doesn't feel private anymore. It feels like it belongs to your audience instead of to us." The words hung between them, both recognizing that they'd hit on something fundamental about their different needs and approaches to privacy. "My audience loves us together," Taylor said quietly. "They're happy for my happiness. Why is that bad?" "It's not bad," Travis said, his voice gentler now. "But Taylor, some moments are meant to be sacred. Some parts of our relationship should exist just for us, not for everyone who follows you online. But sharing is how I process things," Taylor said, tears now openly flowing. "It's how I connect with people. It's part of who I am, and I love that about you," Travis said, reaching across the table to take her hand. but I need some parts of who we are together to be just ours. What does that mean exactly? It means I want to be able to tell you something personal without worrying about it becoming a caption. It means I want to have romantic dinners where we're fully present with each other instead of thinking about how to present them to other people. Taylor pulled her hand away, feeling frustrated and misunderstood. So, you want me to pretend like the most important relationship in my life doesn't exist publicly? No. I want some aspects of the most important relationship in your life to exist privately. And if I can't do that, if sharing is just part of who I am. Travis was quiet for a long moment, and Taylor could see him struggling with his own emotions. Then maybe we want different things from this relationship. The admission felt like a physical blow to both of them. They sat in silence, both processing the possibility that their different approaches to privacy and publicity might be fundamentally incompatible. Maybe we do, Taylor said quietly, though her voice cracked as she said it. I think I need some space to think about this, Travis said finally. And I think you do too. Travis, wait, Taylor started, but he was already signaling for the check. I love you, he said, his voice thick with emotion. But I can't keep feeling like I'm sharing you with everyone else instead of having a relationship that's actually ours. After Travis left, Taylor sat alone at the restaurant table, staring at the photo of him laughing that had started their fight. Looking at it now, she realized she couldn't even remember what story he'd been telling when she took it. She'd been so focused on capturing the moment that she'd missed actually experiencing it. She drove home in silence, her phone sitting untouched in her passenger seat for the first time in months. Over the next 3 days, neither Taylor nor Travis reached out to the other. Both were processing their fight and trying to understand whether their different needs could coexist in the same relationship. Taylor spent her time going through her recent social media posts, seeing her relationship through Travis's eyes for the first time, the constant stream of couple photos, the quotes about love, the documentation of every date and meaningful conversation. Had she really turned their private relationship into public content? She found herself picking up her phone to text Travis dozens of times, then putting it down again, unsure what she wanted to say. For the first time in years, she felt uncertain about sharing her feelings online. Every instinct told her to process this heartbreak publicly, to share her confusion and pain with her fans. But Travis's words kept echoing in her mind. Some moments are meant to be sacred. Meanwhile, Travis was staying at Jason's house, replaying their fight and wondering if he was being unreasonable. He loved Taylor's openness, her willingness to share her joy with the world. But somewhere along the way, her sharing had started to feel performative, and their private moments had started to feel like they belonged to everyone except them. On September 13th, Travis found himself talking to Jason about the situation while they watched football in Jason's living room. So, you're upset because she shares too much about you guys online? Jason asked, trying to understand his brother's perspective. I'm upset because she can't seem to experience our relationship without documenting it, Travis explained. She took a photo of me mid-conversation and immediately started editing it instead of finishing the story I was telling her. That does sound frustrating. It's more than frustrating. It makes me feel like she cares more about how our relationship looks to other people than how it actually feels to us. Do you think she's doing it on purpose? Like trying to use your relationship for pub? You haven't posted anything in 3 days, Andrea observed gently. That's not like you. Travis and I had a fight, Taylor explained, about privacy and social media. What kind of fight? Taylor told her mother about the restaurant incident and Travis's concerns about their lack of private moments. And what do you think about what he said? Andrea asked. I think he knew who I was when he started dating me, Taylor said. But her voice lacked conviction. That doesn't answer the question, sweetheart. What do you think about his specific concerns? Taylor was quiet for a long moment. I think maybe I haven't been as present with him as I could be. How so? The other night he was telling me this funny story about Jason and he looked so happy and beautiful that I took a photo. But then I got distracted thinking about posting it and I realized I never actually heard the end of his story. And how does that make you feel? Like maybe I've been experiencing our relationship through a camera lens instead of just experiencing it. But sharing your happiness is important to you. Andrea said it's part of how you connect with people. It is important to me. Taylor agreed. But maybe Travis is right that some moments should just be ours. What would that look like? I don't know. I've been sharing my life online for so long that I'm not sure I remember how to have experiences without documenting them. Maybe that's something you and Travis could figure out together. On September 14th, Taylor woke up missing Travis desperately and realizing that their fight had revealed some uncomfortable truths about her habits that she needed to address. She texted him, "Can we talk? I miss you and I think we need to figure this out together." Travis responded within minutes, "I miss you, too. Your place or mine? Mine, I'll make coffee." When Travis arrived at Taylor's house that afternoon, both of them looked exhausted from 3 days of thinking about their relationship and what they each needed from it. "I'm sorry," Taylor said as soon as he walked in. "I'm sorry for being defensive and not really hearing what you were trying to tell me." "I'm sorry, too," Travis replied. "I'm sorry for letting my frustration build up instead of talking to you about it sooner." They sat on a couch, both approaching the conversation more carefully this time. Can I tell you what I realized over the past few days? Taylor asked. Please. I realized that I've been so focused on sharing our happy moments that I've stopped being fully present for them. And that's not fair to you, and it's not fair to us. Travis felt some of his tension ease. Thank you for saying that. But I also realized that I need you to understand that sharing my life is genuinely important to me. It's how I connect with my fans, how I process my emotions, how I celebrate good things that happen to me. I do understand that, Travis said, and I don't want you to stop being yourself. I just need us to find a balance between sharing your happiness and protecting some parts of our relationship. What would that balance look like to you? Travis thought carefully about his answer. I'd like some moments that belong just to us, some conversations that don't become captions, sometimes when we can be completely present with each other without thinking about how to present it to anyone else. I want that too, Taylor said, and she realized as she said it that she really meant it. I want to be able to be completely present with you, and I want to support your career and your authentic way of connecting with people. So, how do we do both? They spent the next 2 hours talking through practical boundaries that would work for both of them. Some dates would be phone-free, some conversations would be kept private, some moments would be just theirs, while others could be shared if Taylor wanted to. What about when you're having a moment that would be perfect to share, but we've agreed to keep it private? Travis asked. Then I talk to you about why I want to share it, and you help me understand why it should stay between us, Taylor said. Or maybe we find a way to share the feeling without sharing the specific moment. And what about when I'm feeling overwhelmed by the public attention, but you have something you really want to share? Then you tell me, and we figure out how to balance what you need with what I need. Maybe we find ways to give you more privacy while still letting me be authentic about my happiness. I like that we're talking through solutions instead of just fighting about the problem, Travis said. Me, too. And Travis, yeah, I want you to know that you matter more to me than any social media post or public reaction. If I ever make you feel like the audience matters more than you do, please tell me immediately. I will. And Taylor, I want you to know that I love how open and generous you are with your happiness. I just want some of that happiness to be exclusively ours. It will be, Taylor promised. Our best moments should be just for us. What does this mean for how we handle things going forward? Taylor thought about it. It means I'm going to practice being present instead of always thinking about documentation. It means I'm going to ask myself whether something should be for us or for everyone. And it means I'm going to check in with you regularly about how you're feeling about the balance. And it means I'm going to be more direct about my needs instead of letting frustration build up, Travis said. And I'm going to remember that sharing joy is part of what makes you happy. I love you, Taylor said, moving closer to him on the couch. I love you, too, Travis replied, pulling her close. And I love that we figured out how to talk through this like partners. Is this what healthy relationships look like? Taylor asked with a small smile. I think this is what healthy relationships look like when both people care more about understanding each other than about being right, Travis said. 3 weeks later in early October, Taylor was getting ready to post a photo from their weekend getaway when she paused and looked at Travis. Is this one okay to share, or should this trip stay just ours? Travis looked at the photo, a sweet picture of them hiking that another hiker had offered to take. That one's okay to share, but maybe not the video of us singing badly in the car. Definitely not the car singing. Taylor agreed with a laugh. That was way too embarrassing and way too perfect to be anything but ours. See, balance, Travis said, kissing her forehead. Balance, Taylor agreed. And so much better than fighting about it. 6 weeks later, in mid-October, they had their first real test of their new boundaries when Taylor received some career news that made her incredibly happy. Her first instinct was to share it immediately, but she caught herself and called Travis instead. I got the most amazing news today, she told him when he answered. Tell me everything, Travis said, and she could hear the smile in his voice. Taylor shared her news and they celebrated together over the phone for 20 minutes before Taylor even thought about social media. Can I share this news? She asked Travis before they hung up. Of course, Travis said. This is your career. Share away, but I'm going to share the news, not our conversation about it, Taylor clarified. Perfect. Some things are for everyone, and some things are just for us. I love you for helping me learn the difference. 2 months later, in mid-November 2025, when a reporter asked Travis about maintaining privacy while dating one of the most public figures in the world, he had a thoughtful answer ready. Taylor and I have learned that privacy and publicity aren't opposites. He said they can coexist when you communicate honestly about what you both need. Some parts of our relationship belong to us, and some parts we're happy to share with people who support us. The key is making those decisions together, instead of assuming we want the same level of exposure for every moment. And when Taylor was asked about balancing her public persona with her private relationship during an interview that same week, she had an equally thoughtful response. I've learned that authenticity doesn't mean sharing everything, she said. It means being genuine about what you choose to share while protecting the parts of your life that are sacred. Travis has taught me that some of the most meaningful moments are the ones that exist just between two people. And honestly, those private moments make the public ones Even more special because they come from a relationship that has depth and intimacy beyond what anyone else sees. Because sometimes the strongest relationships aren't built by avoiding conflict, but by learning how to navigate disagreements with honesty, respect, and a genuine desire to understand each other's needs. And sometimes love means finding ways to honor both people's authentic selves while building something that belongs uniquely to them. The most beautiful part of their resolution wasn't that they stopped having different needs, but that they learned to talk about those needs openly and find creative solutions together. Travis didn't ask Taylor to stop being herself, and Taylor didn't ask Travis to accept something that made him fundamentally uncomfortable. Instead, they found ways to give each other what they needed while protecting what they'd built together. Because sometimes the most romantic thing you can do for someone is create space for parts of your relationship that belong only to the two of you. And sometimes the most authentic thing you can do is learn when to keep your most precious moments sacred. What do you think about this story of privacy versus publicity, relationship boundaries, and learning to communicate about conflicting needs? Have you ever had to navigate different approaches to privacy in a relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because sometimes the most important conversations